What if I told you that China has delivered to Pakistan a weapon perfectly positioned to counter India? Well, that just happened. On July 9th, something huge happened that most people missed. China delivered the Z-10ME attack helicopter to Pakistan. But here's the thing, this isn't just any helicopter. This weapon represents the final piece of the puzzle in Pakistan's quest for complete air dominance over India. On May 7th, Pakistani pilots absolutely dominated at high altitude with the J-10s. But when it comes to low-altitude combat, India's AH-64E Apache still enjoys a considerable generational superiority. Before this delivery, Pakistan's most advanced attack helicopter was the American-developed Bell AH-1 Cobra from 1967, lagging behind India by an entire decade. These two helicopters were simply not in the same weight class when it came to weapons, radar, and electronic countermeasures. During the initial helicopter engagements that would accompany tank advances, Pakistani pilots were at a severe disadvantage at a low altitude. But now, China's Z-10ME helicopter and its TY-90 missile will completely turn the tables. Enter the TY-90 missile. This is the world's only air-to-air missile specifically designed for helicopter combat. Traditional missiles like AIM-9 weighs 85 kilograms and measure 3 meters long, which is too large and heavy for helicopters. Their size severely limits maneuverability when mounted. The TY-90 is just 25 kilograms and under 2 meters. But size isn't everything. Here's what makes it revolutionary. Most air-to-air missiles are built for high-altitude fighter jets. Their targeting systems literally degrade when you try to use them at low altitude. The TY-90 is optimized for exactly that environment. It has 360-degree launched envelope and can engage targets up to 4,000 meters. That means Pakistani Z-10s can now counter enemy helicopters and fighters attacking from any direction, including from above. TY-90 also adds ultraviolet guidance to its infrared seeker. Means the TY-90 missile can more effectively target helicopters and drones with weaker infrared signatures and even engage fighters coming in from the front. But here's where it gets really interesting. This delivery is actually Pakistan's revenge story against America and India's arrogance. Back in 2014, Pakistan was shopping for new helicopters. They put 4 models through their paces: the American AH-1Z, Russian Mi-35, Turkish T-129, and Chinese Z-10. Pakistan's initial choice was the US AH-1Z. The Americans approved 15 units in a deal worth about $952 million. Everything seemed set until 2018, when the US suddenly pulled the plug, citing Pakistan's insufficient counterterrorism efforts. Pakistani AH-1Zs ended up gathering dust in Arizona warehouses. So Pakistan turned to Russia's Mi-35, but India, being Russia's major arms customer, applied diplomatic pressure. The result? Pakistan was allowed just 4 units, nowhere near enough to meet their security needs. Next up was Turkey. Pakistan negotiated to buy 30 T-129s, and Turkey was willing to sell, but then US sanctions kicked in, blocking the export of helicopters' engine. Once again, no delivery. Finally, in January 2022, Pakistan announced that they were in talks to buy the Z-10ME. This time, they were pleasantly surprised by how smoothly things went. Pakistan and China had enjoyed stable diplomatic relations for years. The reason Pakistan had initially passed on the Z-10 was simple. The early variants were developed for China's southeastern coastal regions and suffered from obvious power shortcomings in Pakistan's high-altitude environment. But the new Z-10ME variant changed everything. Equipped with the WZ-9G engine producing 1,300 kilowatts, it delivered a 20% improvement in climb rate and 10% boost in acceleration, completely eliminating the high-altitude limitations. In 2024, both countries signed a formal procurement agreement, and deliveries began this year. Think about what this means strategically. This is another J-10CE moment. Pakistan now has integrated Chinese data link. This means that the Z-10 can carry out ambushes under cover of Pakistan's mountainous terrain, launch surprise attacks on India's Apaches with support from ground radar, drones, and forward observers. India that once had advantages in low-altitude combat, they're now sitting ducks for surprise attacks. This isn't just about helicopters. This is about what happens when you try to bully your neighbors through weapons dependencies. America thought they could pressure Pakistan by withholding weapons. Russia bowed to India pressure. Turkey got blocked by US sanctions. China. Once a contract is signed, it's strictly between our two countries, and no third party can interfere. Serbia ordered Chinese FK-3 air defense missiles in 2019. This is a large air defense missile system similar to the S-400. And according to Vucic, the equipment was originally planned to be transported via Ukrainian An-124 aircraft on February 25, 2022, but the Russian-Ukraine conflict that erupted on 24th disrupted the plan. Furthermore, after the presidential election ended on April 2022, Serbia also experienced large-scale protests and riots. But even under such complex circumstances, China still delivered missiles to Serbia on schedule. Beijing used Y-20 military transport aircraft for 3 consecutive days, flying directly through the airspace of NATO members like Turkey and Bulgaria to complete the delivery. Pakistan's choice proves something crucial. In today's world, importing weapons isn't just about price and data. It's about having reliable partners who won't abandon you when politics get complicated. Pakistan learned this lesson the hard way, but now here's the question. Where is India supposed to find a partner like that when their homegrown weapons program keeps running into problems while their ambitions keep growing? Thank you for watching this episode of Topics. I'm Chris. If you have any thoughts, please leave a comment below and see you next time.